Briefly, what I can tell about how parental care ministries began, it was due to my childhood background because I grew up in a polygamy family. My father married more than 15 wives, and I did not grow with my mom. My mom divorced with my dad when I was 8 years old, and I grew up in hands of stepmothers, and they persecuted me so much. I could be beaten, I could be given hard labor to do when I was still young, and I never enjoyed my childhood. My dad, on top of that, he was a drunkard. He could go and drink and come very late. He could not know anything happening at home because he could go early and come very late when we are in bed, and he never knew the situation I was passing through. So through that pain which I passed through, it pained me so much, and then eventually I ended up stopping going to school. And when I stopped going to school, I went and became a houseboy in a home of a certain person who was also not good to me. Because when I went there, I, I was from the village. There is a difference between someone living in the village here and someone in the town. So when you go to town, our villages, we don't have even electricity. So when you go to town, that's another contrast where you find that some things are operated with electricity, some things even you have never seen even a television when you are in the village, but now you have gone to the town where there is a television and some things like that. So when I went to town and I became a houseboy to someone, the person was not very good to me because I was at the age of 15 where I needed her to teach me everything how to do it. I was responsible to do everything in the house, but I didn't know how to do all things perfectly. But whenever I could mess up something, instead of teaching me, he could beat me, could pull my ears, could not give me peace at all. And he could embarrass me before the children because he had her children who were of my age. And she could abuse me words, bad words, in front of them, beat me in front of them, and I could feel embarrassed. That also pained me so much, caused me even to feel that I wish I was not born. Then from there, I decided to leave that home, and I got someone who was a friend and took me, and I started serving on buildings. I was a porter, pushing sand on a wheelbarrow, pushing bricks on wheelbarrow. We could work from morning up to the evening, and we were given just a little money for doing that work. It was a hard work, and I started doing that at the age of 16, the age of 17, I was doing that work. Then at the age of 18, there is a man who was so good to me. He was a friend. He took me, and then he took me to the school and taught me how to teach the children. And when he taught me how to teach the children, I went on teaching the children by the grace of God. Because I knew that I'm not perfect, I don't know what I'm doing, I could thoroughly read my textbooks and then make my lesson plans, and I could go humbly in the church, in the classroom, and I start teaching. But God was so gracious to me. Through that way, I managed to teach my children well, and they were passing well. Even I did well, better than the teachers who had certificates. And they were so surprised about that. Because for them, they were so confident, they could not even take time to revise, to make their lesson plans. But for me, I was doing my lesson plan because I knew I didn't know anything. But God helped me, and I taught like that. That's where I met my wife, Sarah, and miraculously, I can call it a miracle because we had the same experience. By the time we met, she was under the pressure of two stepmothers. Her mom had divorced with her dad, and she grew up in the hands of stepmothers. they were persecuting her. And we joined the story together. I could tell her my story, she could tell me, and we started sympathizing with each other about our experience. So that developed into love, and we ended up getting married. And when we got married, we got married in '89, and that same year we got saved together.